Move over, this guy. Because Chris Evans is finally ready to act and be a superhero in a Marvel movie that doesn't make you want to stick your head in an oven. Flame on! This is Real School. It feels like we're at the end of an era, doesn't it? By next year, Christopher Nolan will have finished his Dark Knight trilogy, and by the summer of 2012, we will arguably have had the first comic book epic in Joss Whedon's The Avengers. This amazing cinematic crossover, the likes of which have never been seen before, have had such amazing Hollywood talent as Jon Favreau and Kenneth Branagh, and it has brought in some amazing actors. Well, Marvel's Avengers crossover reaches its penultimate film in Captain America, directed by Joe Johnston. With Iron Man, Jon Favreau fit. It's funny, it's high adventure, it's got machines in it. He's done it with Zathura. With Thor, Kenneth Branagh fit. It's Shakespearean in a sense. It's very classic, and you needed somebody with a little more of a knowledge of classical literature in order to bring the mythology to life. Captain America was perfect for director Joe Johnston, because decades ago he did The Rocketeer, which was another stylized superhero film set in the 1940s. The style in Captain America was absolutely perfect for this Marvel Universe prequel. The style was gritty and sepia-toned. It made it feel dirty and old, like you probably should feel during a World War II film. But it also had that great sci-fi soft glow, that gleaming shininess, if you will, that actually looked like there was a vestige of hope somewhere in the future. In contrast to the sepia tones, the sci-fi edge really gave you that sense of hope, which is what science fiction films were all about in the 1940s, where this world could go, and the American dream.
Shut it down!
Kill the reactor, Mr. Stark! Turn it off! Kill it! Kill the reactor! No! Don't! I can do this! Mr. Stark!
Son of a bitch did it.
I did it. Yeah. I think we did it.
How'd you feel?
Taller.
Speaking of the American dream. Now, for those of you who watched my last rant, you're probably familiar with the fact that I wasn't too fond with Captain America's catchphrase in his trailer. But the fact is, I can admit at least I was partially wrong. Yes, I can admit at least I was partially wrong. Captain America was not as preachy, patriotic, or pro-American as I thought it would be. The fact is, during the World War II scenes, it actually featured the Allied forces, including the British ad nauseum, which was great to see. However, there were times where once in a while you would get that Captain America theme, and it would... Where the hell did that come from? Sorry, I don't know what came over me there. That was strange. Okay, so once in a while the music got a little preachy, but I was very happy to see that Captain America was not just one big giant 4th of July fireworks explosion. Really, this movie wasn't about America saving the day. It was basically about good versus evil. It's a pretty simple plot to follow, but the plot was really personified in the battle between the two super soldiers, the original super soldier, the Red Skull, and the new and improved super soldier who gets to keep his skin, Captain America. Which brings me to my brand new segment that I am going to do every time I do a review, which I'm going to call For the Win. Get it? Huh? No. So for my inaugural For the Win segment, the For the Win for Captain America is the performance from both, and yes, I said both, Hugo Weaving and Chris Evans. For once, Evans doesn't screw it up. I mean, he's basically a mimbo in every film he does. He's a pretty boy, he's supposed to be goofy and funny, and he's catering to the demographic of young women. In this movie, it's the first time I felt that men can actually enjoy his performance. He actually embodies what a true hero is all about. Now, it's not the most difficult role for him. I mean, my friend Rob basically pointed out there is no character arc to Captain America. He's a smaller guy in the beginning, but he's still true to heart to everything that the American dream believes in. Truth, justice, and all that kind of stuff.
When you brought a 90-pound asthmatic onto my army base, I let it slide. I thought, what the hell, maybe it'd be useful to you, like a gerbil. Look at that. He's making me cry. Hodge passed every test we gave him. He's big, he's fast, he obeys orders, he's a soldier.
He's a bully.
You don't win wars with niceness, Doctor. You win wars with guts. Grenade! Oh,
Get away! Get back!
The dummy grenade.
Is this a test?
He's still skinny.
And in the end, he's a bigger guy. He's got superpowers, but he still believes the same things that he believed in the beginning of the film. There's really no change. The biggest challenge is going to come in the next film for Evans. In the Avengers, Captain America is going to be 70 years a fish out of water, and it's going to be a little interesting to see what they do with the character. On the flip side to Cap, you had the amazing Hugo Weaving. Another guy who is brilliant in everything he does. In fact, it seems like it's a commonality this summer that the villains are really stealing the show in almost every summer blockbuster. Think about Ian McShane in Pirates of the Caribbean, you think about Loki and Thor, the list goes on and on and on. Weaving is no different, and what I really respected is you could actually tell that he put a lot of thought and a lot of work into this one-dimensional role as the Red Skull. The fact is, Hugo Weaving actually does a real German accent. You know in Hollywood how most of the time when you see a German villain or a Nazi, they always talk like this, and we have ways of making you talk? This strudel is delicious, may I have another piece? Or even Friends with Benefits is the feel-good rom-com of the summer. The fact is, Germans don't really talk like that, even though Stanley Tucci in this film would have you believe that. Hugo Weaving actually kind of studied the dialect of German-speaking English and what they really sound like. And it was kind of fun to listen to. Where this movie really suffered was in the editor's chair. I felt it really needed a lot of work in terms of editing. It's almost like Michael Bay was back in charge. Once again, these ill-conceived montages came in where they would show action sequences, but you'd have no idea what was going on. You get the basic idea, of course, but really the details were lost, and it kind of brought you out of the film for a second. But overall, on my scale of earn it or burn it, Captain America, the first Avenger, is most definitely an earn it. It was probably my biggest surprise of the summer, and I'm happy to share that with you. Go see the movie. I think everybody will thoroughly enjoy it. All I can say now is, take it away, Joss. We'll see you next time on Real School.